Superfood Evolution presents Pau d'Arco bark, an immune-enhancing herbal antibiotic. Pau d'Arco bark comes from the inner layer of bark on the pink flowering lapacho tree native to the South American Amazonian rainforest regions, where it has been used as a therapeutic herbal tea by indigenous cultures for centuries. The tree is made up of a very hard wood and tough exterior that is resistant to many diseases. Likewise, the bark inside this surface layer is a strong immune system modulator, optimizing immune response with certain compounds like the active ingredient called lapachol. The bark tea or extract is used as a potent medicinal herb for its natural antibiotic properties, eliminating potentially harmful bacteria and yeast from the body, while supporting the growth of beneficial microbial strains. It is not technically an adaptogen, but works on the secretory immune system or the body's first line of defense against pathogenic organisms. Adaptogens specifically function on deeper immune reserves and are more beneficial when taken for extended periods of time. Pau d'Arco, on the other hand, as a purifying herb, is best used for short periods of time to heal certain immune-associated disorders. It can be used with many of the major tonics or Ayurvedic herbs, but is best used by itself or with the other cleansing herbs when dealing with conditions like candida overgrowth, parasites, or autoimmune related diseases. Pau d'Arco is beneficial as a natural anti-inflammatory and pain reliever for a wide range of conditions such as arthritis, prostatitis, ulcers, and also may be effective as an anti-tumor agent. In research investigations studying other specific components like cyclopentene dialdehydes and beta-lapachone, results showed reduced inflammation as well as the ability to inhibit angiogenesis and slow tumor cell growth. Some of the primary constituents in the bark, composed of quinones, flavonoids like quercetin, and a number of glycoside compounds, are very potent antifungal and antiviral complexes. These specific attributes make it a top cleansing herb for candida and yeast overgrowth, fungal and viral infections, in addition to skin conditions like psoriasis or eczema. Pau d'Arco works also as a blood purifier, which is one of the reasons it is effective for many skin conditions. Blood cleansing herbs assist liver functions and help to clear out toxic immune-inhibiting yeast and fungal strains that can lead to epidermal breakouts and issues. Many herbalists around the world use Pau d'Arco bark extracts or tea formulas for a number of fungal conditions, including athlete's foot, ringworm, thrush, rashes, or nail fungus. It can also be used topically directly on the skin in herbal salves or ointments. Pau d'Arco tea is slightly bitter and astringent, but has a very pleasant taste and fragrant aroma. Dried Pau d'Arco can be infused in hot water, but it's more beneficial when simmered for 20 minutes. It can be used alone or in herbal tea formulations. As we mentioned, it can be added for its cleansing elements when decocting other tonic herbs or mushrooms such as foti root, chaga, and astragalus. The main naphthoquinones, lapachol and beta-lapachone, are considered slightly more effective as an alcohol extract. What is Pau d'Arco? The lapacho or Pau d'Arco tree is a hardwood native to the Brazilian Amazonian rainforest, but has been introduced to other parts of the world where appropriate subtropical climates persist and is somewhat tolerant outside its natural growing zone. It grows all over Central and South America, as well as Mexico, Florida, the Caribbean, and even the North American coastline. The tree is a canopy species and can reach heights of 125 feet, with about 100 different species of the tree coming from the genus Tabebuia. Often used as a common ornamental because of its bright pink to violet trumpet-shaped flowers, it is also very resistant to diseases, which make it a beneficial horticulture tree species. Part of the reason for this is that Pau d'Arco is made of an extremely hard wood and additionally contains disease-inhibiting attributes within its woody protective shield. Also referred to as the tahibo tree, the wood is used today in South American countries as a timber product, popular for lumber building purposes. Because of this, it is significantly being overharvested in some areas like Brazil, where it is an endangered tree species. Pau de arco is also known as aipe and gets its name pau de arco from the Portuguese language. Its Portuguese name, which means bow stick, comes from the traditional native use of the limbs to make bows for hunting purposes. Where does the bark come from? The reddish-brown pau de arco bark is not taken from the outer bark, but from the thin layer between the outer bark and the inner heartwood. When the bark is peeled back, this lining resembles thin, moist layers of shredding material. Its primary function is to create new tissues and protective compounds. This is where the most medicinally potent properties are concentrated. Pau de arco bark is typically harvested in a similar way to traditional cork harvesting, which removes the outer layer but leaves the living tree intact, which will eventually grow another layer of bark. Pau de arco is a long-living tree species, usually maintaining its life cycle for up to 700 years or more. Historical use. The lapacho tree was called taje, which means the divine tree, and was originally used by indigenous peoples of Paraguay, Brazil, and Bolivia, such as the Guarani, Tupinamba, as well as the Incan civilization and their descendants, the Calawea, a group of traditional healers living in the present-day Bolivian Andes. The Calawea were once the naturopathic healers of Incan kings and today are familiar with up to 600 pharmaceutical herbs. The use of pau de arco bark was first introduced into Western medicine in the 1960s, with early research investigating specific compounds like lapachol, which is known to possess anti-tumor and pain-relieving qualities. Pau de arco bark benefits. Immune system modulator. When using tree species for medicinal purposes, most herbs are extracted from the bark or cambium layer of the tree, where the most potent nutrients and immune-modulating substances can be found. This is essentially the immune system of the tree itself. The immune-enhancing and cleansing substances in pau de arco bark, when consumed as a tea or extract, not only help to clear the lymph system and purify the blood, but also function as a natural herbal antibiotic. Unlike antibiotic drugs, pau de arco doesn't kill all the bacteria in the body, just the potentially harmful or pathogenic bacteria and yeast strains. Good for candida overgrowth. Candida albicans is a type of fungal yeast that is beneficial to a healthy intestinal ecology in small amounts. The use of prescription antibiotics, an unbalanced diet, or other factors can cause an overgrowth or overdominance of this particular strain, causing yeast infections and the elimination of good bacteria needed for optimal immune health. Because of its specific influence as an antifungal and antiparasitic complex, pau de arco bark is one of the top recommended natural remedies for treating intestinal parasites and candida overgrowth. This provides for a more balanced ratio of intestinal microflora, which is needed for proper immune function and the synthesis of certain B vitamins. It can be used for a period of time, sipped as a refreshing tea throughout the day, or conveniently consumed as a liquid extract that can be dropped into drinks and beverages. In cases of severe candida overgrowth, it is, of course, also advised to follow a no-sugar diet and adhere to a strict cleansing protocol with additional probiotic supplementation. In a study entitled Selective Growth Inhibiting Effects of Compounds Identified in Tabebuia impetigosa Inner Bark on Human Intestinal Bacteria, evidence demonstrated that pau de arco bark hinders the growth of harmful bacteria strains while selectively ignoring the beneficial microflora like bifidobacterium and lactobacillus. The active phytochemical lapachol was also shown to be helpful as an antifungal and antibacterial for inhibiting many non-beneficial bacteria, including Helicobacter pylori, Staphylococcus aureus, and Streptococcus. The bark can therefore be an effective treatment for conditions such as stomach ulcers, skin eruptions, food poisoning, and pneumonia. Anti-inflammatory aid, helpful for autoimmune diseases. Along with a health-promoting whole foods diet and a regular exercise program, Supplementing with Paudiarco bark tea or extract is recommended for inflammatory-related diseases and autoimmune disorders like MS, chronic fatigue syndrome, arthritis, and fibromyalgia. A 2013 study published in the Journal of Neuroimmunology, the beta-lapachone isolated from Paudiarco bark was shown to have successful outcomes towards treating inflammatory conditions and autoimmune diseases like multiple sclerosis by suppressing inflammation of the brain and spinal cord, or EAE, encephalomyelitis. The results concluded that, quote, collectively, these studies suggest mechanisms by which beta-lapachone suppresses EAE and suggest that beta-lapachone may be effective in the treatment of inflammatory diseases such as MS. In a study published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology, it states that, quote, the ethnopharmacological action of Tahibo, Paudiarco, may be due to its negative modulation of macrophage-mediated inflammatory responses by suppressing prostaglandin production. Thus, this water extract may be developed as a new therapeutic remedy for various inflammatory diseases such as arthritis and atherosclerosis. May help prevent tumor growth. The two most studied active ingredients that exhibit immune-normalizing impacts are the naphthoquinone constituents called lapachol and beta-lapachone. Both lapachol and beta-lapachone have been researched for their subsequent anti-cancer or cytotoxic properties. Several studies conducted in 2014 show promising results for prostate, breast, bladder, and gastric cancers. Lapachol has been investigated for its ability to shrink tumors and reduce the feeling of pain caused by tumor growth, while beta-lapachone is also shown to selectively induce apoptotic cell death in a number of human cancer cells. Clinical trials in a 2014 study analyzing the mechanisms by which beta-lapachone eliminates cancer cells, it states that, quote, these findings will contribute to our understanding of how cancer cells are selectively killed by beta-lapachone and increase our ability to devise strategies to enhance the anti-cancer efficacy of this potentially novel drug. In another 2014 study, it was verified that using probiotic supplementation along with Paudiarco can be beneficial for lapachol synthesis in the body and was shown to be a more effective approach specifically used, quote, against a breast cancer cell line. Possible angiogenesis inhibitor. Some research has been conducted on the use of Paudiarco bark and the beta-lapachone compound as an anti-angiogenic agent, helpful in the reduction of cancerous tumor growths. Angiogenesis, which is the formation of new blood vessels, plays a critical role in stimulating the spread of cancerous cells by providing the blood supply needed to do so. Angiogenese inhibitors, or anti-angiogenic agents, may prevent or slow the growth of cancer as a result. The process of angiogenesis is controlled by chemical signals in the body, and typically their stimulating and inhibiting effects are balanced so that blood vessels form only when and where they are required. In a study published in the Journal of Cellular Physiology, it was concluded that, quote, neovascularization is an essential process in tumor development. It is conceivable that anti-angiogenic treatment may block tumor growth. Beta-lapachone, a natural product extracted from the lapacho tree, has been demonstrated to possess anti-cancer and antiviral effects. We demonstrated that nitric oxide can attenuate the apoptotic effect of beta-lapachone on human endothelial cells and suggest that beta-lapachone may have potential as an anti-angiogenic drug. Paudiarco benefits the skin. There are certain cleansing herbs that work together with liver herbs to help detoxify the body. Paudiarco is one of them, acting as a natural antiseptic that sanitizes the tissues, cells, and blood, additionally functioning as a mild laxative to help eliminate undigested waste material. These effects directly help to improve the condition of the skin by helping the liver do its job more effectively. The liver is the top organ responsible for keeping our skin healthy and free of various skin rashes, eruptions, and chronic conditions. Pouty-arco bark is an anti-psoriatic agent helpful in the treatment of psoriasis, a common, chronic, immune-mediated systemic disease characterized by dry, itchy, red skin patches. Research findings have discovered that, quote, because of their potent activity against the growth of human keratinocytes, some lapacho-derived compounds appear to be promising as effective anti-psoriatic agents. The herbal tea or extract can also be used topically as well as internally. Types of pouty-arco bark. 1. Dried bark or powder, used to make tea decoctions or tinctures. 2. Tinctured extract, alcohol extracts of the dried bark. 3. Capsules or tablets, powdered capsules or powder compressed in a tablet form. 4. Herbal salve, homemade or purchased salves made from bark extracts or bark-infused oil and beeswax. Pouty-arco bark quality. We always recommend purchasing bulk herbs or tea products from a reputable, sustainable, fair trade source. Most pouty-arco bark is available as a wild-crafted herb rather than a cultivated variety. According to Walter Lubeck, the best lapacho quality originates from the wild harvest, since the complete combination of active ingredients can only be found in an age of 40 years, from the book Healing Power of Pouty-arco. How to use. Pouty-arco bark is a powerful cleansing herb and should be used in appropriate quantities for short periods of time, rather than on a regular basis. Be aware that higher amounts of pouty-arco may be toxic to the body and may cause gastrointestinal upset if used in excess. It is best consumed in moderate dosages spread throughout the day, rather than all at one time. Pouty-arco can be infused in hot water, but is most beneficial when decocted, simmered in water for about 20 minutes to release the active ingredients and medicinal components. It is a delicious tasting tea that can be made in quart-sized quantities to be consumed throughout the day. To make a mild to strong pouty-arco tea, use 2 to 6 tablespoons of bark per quart of water. Recommended dosage. Tea decoction, 1 cup 1 to 4 times a day. Tincture, 25 to 50 drops 1 to 4 times a day. Capsules, 2 to 4 capsules 1 to 4 times a day. Consume once a day for mild dose and up to 4 times a day for a stronger dose. Pouty-arco bark is great to use in tonic herb teas to add beneficial cleansing components to the herbal tea formula. For traditional Shipibo Peruvian tea, use pouty-arco with cat's claw, another herb with similar properties. Some recommend that the bark should be used with a squeeze of lemon so tannins can be effectively digested. Pouty-arco is a medicinal and astringent herb that can also be used topically in salves or ointments for healing skin issues such as eczema, athlete's foot, or psoriasis. For vaginal infections, a strong tea can also be used as a douche or in a mineralized sitz bath. Precautions. Pouty-arco should be avoided if pregnant or trying to conceive. Consuming excessive amounts of the bark tea or extract may cause nausea or gastrointestinal upset. Consult your healthcare provider if taking blood-thinning medications, as the herb is a blood thinner and should be avoided by people with bleeding disorders or hemophilia. Thanks for watching, and for more super herbs, visit our website at superfoodsforsuperhealth.com. For trusted sources of pouty-arco, please see the links in the description box below this video. Please support us with a thumbs up if you found this video useful. And be sure and check out these other related videos.